All right, we're back. We've worked through alpha, beta, gamma, delta, and epsilon, and let's see if we can get through these three or four in the short 5-minute video. We're going to start with the letter zeta. Let's clear that so you can see it a little better. Zeta is an odd letter, but it kind of looks like a Z. And we start above the line, come over, swing down, and make a little hook. It's not the most comfortable the letter to make because it's just so foreign to us. It looks, you can see they look fairly familiar. Thankfully, we'll be reading more than we'll be writing Greek, but that is the letter zeta. Again, zeta. Zeta, that's pretty awful. But you get the idea. Again, it's not quite like writing with pen and paper when you work with this tablet. Zeta. And again, quickly on pronunciation, technically it's more of a DZ sound, like a zeta. Yeah, the letter zeta. Zeta. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta. Let me see if I can make one decent one here. Slide it down and hook. Not really. I'm going to make my brush size a little bit bigger. See if that helps. Boy, that's even worse. That's not too bad, but see the little hook, short on the top, and hook down, zeta. Again, you won't write that too often, but it's helpful for when you do any kind of homework. Zeta. All right, the next one is a little bit confusing because the eta, if I were to ask you what English letter that looked like, you'd probably say it looked like an N. And technically it looks a lot like the N, except there's a little bit of a tail below the line. But that is not the letter N. That is the vowel eta. Eta. And pronounce that like A as in hey. Eta. And this is one of the letters that it's going to take you a little bit before you stop confusing it. And that's okay. Give yourself some time to get through it. This is very natural. Eta. Eta. And next 25 times you see it, you're probably going to want to say N or nu, which is the Greek equivalent to the letter N. But you'll come back to it, and eventually you'll know that that's the eta. And again, you're going to pronounce it as an AY as in hey. Eta. So that's our letter eta. The next three are easy to remember because they're zeta, eta, and theta. Zeta, eta, and theta. So we get the three letters. Zeta, eta, theta. Zeta, eta, theta. And notice they have that rhyminess to them. The theta is the equivalent of our TH sound. And you start at the top, and you come through, and you make the cross. Across the middle of the O, if you want to think of it as like an O. Again, that's the theta. You could just do this, but that's a little tedious. So I just make it kind of cursive-y and go across. Theta. Whoops, need to continue that through. Theta. So I go zeta, eta, theta. 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 Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta. Zeta, eta, theta. Theta, eta, zeta, theta, zeta, eta, theta. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta. Zeta, eta, theta. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta. Theta, eta, zeta, epsilon, delta, gamma, beta, and alpha. All right, we'll come back and we'll go to the next three or four. See how far we can go.